Alright you guys, listen up. I got a little story to tell about the client that I'm about to cut right now, okay? So they came in as a walk-in on Friday. So I told them to come in on Saturday because I got a little opening on Saturdays, and especially if they're new, I like cutting new people. So I looked at them, I was like, ooh, that could be a good haircut, you know what I mean? I could really transform this little kid. So told them to come in on Saturday, and they came bright and early. Appreciate you guys for being on time. But I had somebody else to cut that I forgot my uncle told me that I had to cut. So long story short, I had to cut them second. But I got done with the cut real quick, got them in. Me and the kid was talking about Mulan. Now, if you guys know about the original cartoon Mulan, the movie, and if you've seen the real movie that just came out, you would understand that we all have a little bit of frustration when it comes to this movie. After I was done with the cut, I talked to the kid. I was like, man, so how you feel about Mulan? Man, he made me laugh because it's the way he said it. He was just like, man, they was real disrespectful for not bringing in Mushu. I was dying. It was the way he said it. All right, it's probably not funny right now, okay? All right, granted, it's probably not funny. You had to be there. Okay, all right. But the second thing I want to tell you is after I was done with the cut, the mom was real critical about the round the ear lineup, okay? He ended up stopping me and was like, hey, listen, my mom, I got to bring my mom. She's real, you know, she wants to see the cut. And I was like, all right. So the mom was like, yeah. So she pulled down his ear and really pulled down the hair. And I was like, dang, she really know what she talking about. You know what I mean? Like, she pulled down the hair that was there and I had to reline it. And it really was like, dang, in a nitpicky type of way. That's dope that the mom really cared that much about the haircut that she wanted she wanted basically to get what she paid for. You know what I mean? If I'm spending this type of money, I need the around the ear action to be crisp. Okay, hats off to the mom, okay? Hats off to the mom, because at the end of the day, it made me realize, I always say bring it down in the front, but I never say bring it down on the sides. You know what I mean? So it was it was an enlightening moment, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna bring it down around the ear to a 1.5 as well as I do on the front line, because you won't get the overhang, basically, yeah. She taught me something without teaching me something. It's your boy 360 Jeezy. Stay tuned. Alright you guys, so to start this haircut off, of course you want to make sure that you comb through the hair before you actually start cutting. I did that, but off camera. So right now, using my Andis cordless masters with the 2-guard closed, I'm going with the grain of my client's pattern. This is the first time I'm cutting his hair, so I always want to make sure I start off with a higher guard and work my way down. But I ended up sticking with the 2-guard closed because I love the length of the way it made his waves pop. After cutting the waves down, you always want to make sure you do a brush session just to make sure everything is laid in place. So starting off on the taper, setting in my bald line using my Babyliss custom skeletons. I'm going to set in my bald line in a triangle-like shape because I want to give it a unique look. So I'm trying to go with this burst taper effect. That's kind of the standard taper nowadays. So this is how I set in my tapers on the side. Next, using my clippers with the lever open, using only my corners, I'm gonna go right around that triangle-like shape that we set at the bottom, going up about a ½ inch. So the same thing with the one guard open, using my corners. I'm going up about a ½ inch, making sure I keep it consistent all the way through. With the two guard open, I'm basically just cleaning up the top. I'm not setting in a guideline necessarily. I'm just making sure that the two that I set in flows with the two against the grain that I'm doing right now. Going back with the one guard open, I'm cleaning up that area between the 1 and the 2, still using my corners only. With the zero guard closed in a flick out motion, flick out that middle line. Now this is a totally different motion than setting in a guideline. This is basically going to the line and flicking out real quick. That way you don't set in a harsh guideline, but what you get is a sort of a fade transitional effect. So depending on the texture, sometimes the hair won't allow you to really get it out with the zero guard closed. So right now I'm going back with my lever open, using corner work. I'm not really, this is kind of like detailing right at this point, because I'm trying to get that middle line out as much as possible before I move on to the next step. Now with the lever closed, using my corners in a flick out motion, flick out that bottom line. Now what you want to do is work from the inside out. You don't want to take out the outer line because you kind of want to keep some of that. So work in the middle as much as possible, like I'm doing right now, using the lever closed, but also as you go up, adjusting the lever. So last but not least, detailing. All right, this is the most important part of the blend. This separates a good taper from a great taper. Okay, so you want to make sure you use corner work. Really just adjust your eyes, look away for a minute, you know what I mean? Look in the mirror, do what you got to do to see differently. Look from the side and see what area that has bulk, and just go in and attack those areas using your corners. So here's a quick tip to get your lineup crispy. Whatever you used on top, go a guard size down. So I'm gonna use my one guard with the lever closed, and I'm just gonna, at the tips, run the clipper down. That way we could get the lineup as crispy as possible. thing you want to do after you finish the cut is you want to give a freehand trim on top. You can use whatever clipper that you want to use. I'm using aligners. Most of the time I use clippers with the lever closed. A lot of you out there use shears, and that's fine too. Whatever you got to do to get those hairs off the top, because you want to make sure that the hair looks finished and neat. Trying to say because I ain't got waves I gotta change my name, but let me tell you why they call me 360. When they sit in my chair, I spin them in the full 360 and they come out looking like bang. YouTube, this is the cut, and if you like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also, HustleDreamProduction, that's my brother, he does all my beats. His YouTube channel will be linked in the description below. Also, if you want to know where you can find any tools that you've seen in this video, links will be in the description below. Otherwise, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. My Snapchat is Jeezy360 and my Instagram is 360Jeezy. But it's your boy 360Jeezy, and I'm out of here.